Hmm.
Is it a delay?
Yes, it will delay.
Ah,
So you can start.
just one second. Am I audible now? On the session? Can I just pause it for 1 minute? I just have one question for you. Hello everyone. This is the live session for the Fundamentals of Micro and Nanofabrication course. Welcome everyone. If you have any questions, you're welcome to type them out, and I'll try to answer them. If needed, we can also discuss things on the whiteboard that I have with me. So yeah, please, whoever has any questions, please ask. And I hope you are all enjoying the course. I think Sumit has a question. Yes, hi Sumit. Ah, no questions. Come on, somebody. Some of you must have some clarification that you need. Are you guys getting all the answers from the TAs online? Those of you who are asking questions, are you getting those answered? Is there any issues with regarding the assignments or any part of the lecture? Those are also issues we can deal with. To those of you who are just joining us, basically this is a live session for fundamentals of micro and nano fabrication. This is a course on um, how to make micro devices on silicon and other substrates. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you have any clarifications, yeah, feel free to raise them. What type of level question? A lot of the questions we'll be asking. I mean, exam is going to be only multi-choice questions. Uh, we don't expect you to remember formulas, but we do expect you to remember concepts. So um, questions will be related to what you have done in the assignments. It will be um, if you do assignments, you should a significant portion of the questions in the exams will be obvious to you. However, there is a subset of questions that are require a little more understanding or a little more in-depth thought. And in order to answer those correctly, you would have to digest the information discussed in the course, and to a level where um, you have to sort of synthesize knowledge and not just replay knowledge that has already been presented. So there will be several levels. Uh, Significant portion of it will be directly related to assignments and lectures, and some of this will be a little more advanced. So I think that was a question from Sumit. Another thing that you can raise in this live session is any issues you are having with respect to either the way the TA shape of the course is going, or your the doubts being clarified online, etc. But short answer to you, Sumit, assignments are a good indication of what the questions will be. Assignment is a little hard. It's by design a little hard, but yeah. Once again, you're free to ask questions. I'm here for the next 15 minutes. I mean, I can be here longer, but if there are no questions, I'm at least here for the next 15 minutes. Yeah, another question from Sumit. Yeah, please feel free to articulate your question. Well, really depends on. I mean, strictly speaking, this is Shankar's part of the course, so he would have been be able to give you a more in-depth answer. But basically, so the question is how many diffraction orders are at least required to form an image? And the short answer it depends on what fidelity image do you want to make. If the goal is to just know whether there is light or dark, maybe just one order is enough. But if you the higher the resolution or the fidelity or the quality of the image you want to form, the higher orders you will need. Okay, this is very specific. I mean, I have to exactly check what the assignment question exactly worded was and what exactly was the answer. So, Sumit, this is something I'll get back to you on. I'll make this as a topic in the discussion session, okay, on the discussion part of the forum. All right. In fact, you are welcome to raise this in the forum if you have not already. The TAs of the course are required to answer such questions, so you don't have to wait till the live session. I mean, I understand, so it's just that I exactly do not, right off the top of my head, know the question that you are referring to. I'll have to sort of read it a little bit and make sure that there is no subtext that I'm missing here. But it's very specifically like these very specific doubts are best handled offline, where you can raise this during the forum and um, we will resolve it. Don't worry, we shall resolve it. So it is possible that there is an error. It's also possible that the question was asking something slightly different. If you just raise it in the forum, or I will take the responsibility of raising it in the forum myself, and you will get an answer. Does that work for you, sir? In general, is the course accessible? And those of you who are here, like, does it satisfy the goals that you took the course for? If there are no more comments or questions, I think maybe another, I mean, it's going to be 15 minutes in 2-3 minutes more. Maybe we can end at that point. But of course, if there are questions, if they want something to discuss, uh, we can absolutely continue. There are some Google forum questions. These have not been answered online. Okay. Maybe we can discuss some of those. So Akshay had asked, does the orientation of the silicon substrate matter in device characteristics? It does. If you stick around until the portion that is the oxide growth, the native oxide growth, then you would have noticed that the silicon dioxide, silicon interface, the properties of that actually do depend upon orientation. So in some cases it matters, in some cases it doesn't. Typically where the surfaces matter, it matters. Where the bulk properties are more important, it sort of matters less. The second question from Akshay again is how the different orientation of the silicon substrate affect the device, sort of corollary of the first one. So silicon 100 surface, for example, the surface has lower defect densities than silicon 111, and that is one of the reasons why the silicon 100 surface is the more popular one. All the FETs, etc., that Intel makes in their processors are all on the 100 substrate. How can we select the specific orientation of the silicon substrate for our application? Well, it depends on what you want. So if you want to make an FET, you pick silicon 100. If you're making a BJT, probably 100 or 111 or equivalent, you would just make a decision on cost. And if you want to, for example, make micro fabrication channels, during the etching part of the lectures, you will note that by doing anisotropic etching of the 110 substrate, you can actually make micro channels. So if you were to make micro channels, you might select that orientation. Akshay also had a second question. Studying from the video lectures is enough for the exam, or we have to look for some reference books? Some reference books have been recommended on the page, but don't worry. As long as you're doing the assignments and as long as you're following lectures and understanding the material, you should by and large be fine in the exams. The reference books that we have suggested are good books, but often are more expansive and more detailed than required in this fundamentals course, or sometimes go into details that are slightly irrelevant. And that is why we don't stick to one specific book. It's a slightly advanced graduate course. It doesn't lend itself well to textbooks. Suhadeep has asked, second. Suhadeep has asked, what are the present research problems that you are focusing at our lab? You can probably look at my research page, but basically I work on devices and solar cells. So currently a lot of my research problems are related to solar cells. Sumit Sanjay Chabadia asked, what type of level question will you ask in exam? I think this is the same question. Oh, Sumit has again asked here, which I've already answered. But yeah, if you're doing an assignments, if you're following lectures and you're understanding the material, you should by and large be fine. There will be some questions that will require you to think critically, but nothing that would surprise you or require you to go beyond the material that we have provided. So, what are the marks weightage given for each week? These things are NPTEL standard. They are not something that we actually control. If I'm not wrong, the weightages are almost exactly the same. There is some weightage for, like, all the assignments have the same weight, and then assignment and exam has certain weightage. For if there's very specific details, I'll likely have to check, and I'll get back and maybe again make this clear in the forum. Right off the top of my head, I don't exactly remember the percentages, but these things are standard. I mean, in some sense, NPTEL has a automated portal which conducts these things and gives out marks. We don't micromanage it. Right? So those are all the questions, and maybe we can call it this the end. Thank you for joining, and you can, oh, you want, okay, let's wait for 2 more minutes and then we can, since there were other questions. So I've been asked to wait for 2 more minutes. So we'll wait for 2 more minutes and then we'll. Once again, this is the live session for the fundamentals of micro and nano fabrication. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask. Please type in the chat right next to the video. All right. So there are no more questions. Thank you all for watching, and thank you for joining the course. I hope you're finding it interesting and it's satisfying your goals. If you have any other further questions, please talk to us in our forum.